And right now, tonight, leaving that cage, just trying to appreciate it, man.
I bet. Obviously things didn't go the way you wanted them to go tonight. I guess talk
Not
about
so much.
talk about the fight itself. I mean, a beautiful kick, I guess, kind of changed everything.
Yeah. Great kick by Usman. Awesome. Great job. Came out traditional. We're expecting to come out southpaw. Maybe tended to stand southpaw more, but he came out traditional. So I was going to kick his body and kick his leg. I got off one inside leg kick. Didn't land super square, but it landed okay. He threw 2 kicks. I checked one, kind of moved back on it. And then he threw a rear leg question mark kick, and not too many people have the dexterity, the skill set to throw a rear leg, especially like a body kick, rear leg question mark kick. I didn't land it flush, landed clean. He got me with his freaking toes right around my jaw, and I woke up, and he was on my back punching down on me. I was like, oh man, something bad happened. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever happened to you, but it has happened a couple of times where you kind of wake up in the middle of a fight, you come to a little bit and you're in a different position. I knew him on my back was not a good position. I woke up there a little bit. I was like, oh, dang it. He landed some good shots from back. He was not exactly back of the head, but he landed some good shots from the back. I was like, oh, like, hey, ref, look at that. And then crossed his feet. I was like, oh, jiu-jitsu 101, don't cross your feet. I caught it with my wrong leg. Didn't work at all. You do it just to get them to uncross their legs. He did uncross his legs for a moment, so it worked in that aspect. But and then when he was on my back and he had the rear naked in, I do a pretty darn good job of when guys are on my back. But he was love you, Kogan.
Take a minute. Just all kind of settling in now.
Yeah.
Over reality.
But yeah, Usman was on my back. Normally, do a pretty good job of back defense, but he cemented his position of his chest being on my back, and I wasn't able to turn my shoulders to the ground. Once he had the rear naked in, you guys can have the rear naked, and then as long as you're able to turn your shoulders, get their shoulders square off of your back, chest to back position. But he did a good job of securing his chest to my back. I couldn't wiggle anymore to scrape him off of my back, and that's when I knew that it had at the end. Then I started going woozy just a little bit, like, oh mother. then I tapped after that.
Obviously, it shows the skill that he brings. We know you're the unchokable Benson Henderson, so it shows the skill that he has. But I guess you've had an amazing career, Hall of Famer, legend. Now you turn it over to your wife, right? I know you said you're going to let her focus. Will you be in the corner? Like, will be active where you're helping her? Do you kind of let the coaches handle that, and you just handle family? Like, what's the plan?
I'll be around. I'll be in the gym. I own the gym with my coach John Crouch and I'll be helping out with the guys and doing this and that. But majority of my time will be taking care of the kids so that she can train more. It is I signed the deal with Bellator, and I told myself, anytime you lose during these 4 fights, then that's probably it. So that's what happened. So time to lay the gloves down, but yeah, I'll still be around, still be helping guys out. I love my team. We have the hardest working gym in the world, bar none, hands down. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. We have the hardest working gym in the world. My little brothers, my little sisters, I love them to death. And I'll be there to help them out, and I'll do what I can, But it is my wife's turn to shine, her turn to practice 3-4 times a day, get after it, So I leave that to her, and I'll be taking care of doing the majority of the, taking care of the kids, but I'll still be in the gym, still helping out with my team, and of course help my wife out and stuff.
Last thing for me, how do you want to be remembered as a fighter? I mean, your legacy, obviously a former UFC champ, former WC champ. I mean, that stuff can't never be taken away, but is it your accomplishments? Is it your character? Like, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh man, I don't know. I've gotten that question a lot the past year, 2 years or so. I'll leave it to you pundits. I'll leave it to you guys to give my career scope and put some cool words to it and all that stuff. I'm not really sure. I don't. If anything, I would say the thing I'm highest on in this life is hard work. I don't care what it is you do, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a cameraman, whether you're a fighter, it doesn't matter what you do. You're a Uber driver. It's all about how hard you work in life. It's all about how hard you work, hard work. So I think maybe for my career, I just want to be known as the guy who worked his butt off. I was never the fastest. I was never the strongest. I was never the most this, most that. I was never the number one draft pick. Not ever in my life. I was always a 7th-round draft pick, and I was able to, have a pretty good career. And I was able to do that by just working my butt off. I was never the top pick for anything ever. I was always the smallest, one of the slowest, not very strong, a little bit flexible, had good balance, but I was never a top pick for any of my school, high school, college, even for MMA. Like I was never a top pick, but I worked my butt off. I worked nonstop to get to where I am and to accomplish some of the things that I accomplished, and hard work maybe.
Hey, Benson, if you could go back in time and speak to yourself when you were starting MMA, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh man, invest in Google, invest in Tesla. In the way that you're talking about it.
Good answers.
Yeah, maybe the only thing I would have told myself, like a lot of older people, now myself older in this MMA game, would be to actually just appreciate all of it. Like really to just, I took it for granted. Not took it for granted, but I had a pretty good career early on. I did some good, amazing things early on. I was a world champion, before the age of 24. So like, oh man, yeah, I just kind of got used to it, but I didn't really appreciate, getting flown to here, first class, going over here and doing these things and talking to media. It was always such a drag, like, oh man, I want to talk to these guys again. Like, oh, like I'm so much better than or whatever. I'm like, hey, and now, like looking back, like all the, older folks will say, yeah, you gotta appreciate these things. So stopping to smell the roses throughout my entire career, not just wait till the end and then, okay, now I appreciate this and appreciate that, but learning to appreciate it from the very beginning. Because those memories, man, if you just kind of gloss over them, you just forget about them. Like those are some of the about loving the journey, loving the process, not just the end result and getting the belt there, but those 2, 3 years, 4 years, that getting the belt, enjoying that process, enjoying the journey, loving what it is you do, and appreciate.
I mean, just to springboard off that a little bit, like how clearly are your memories like of all your fights? Is it pretty like
not good at all?
Not good.
I have to ask my wife. She'll be happy to tell you I have a terrible memory. So when someone like she'll be talking about, oh yeah, and this and that, we went over here to this restaurant in San Jose. I was like, yeah, I don't remember that. You sure? We went to this restaurant? Like, yeah. And she'll pull up on her phone and have yeah, that's a good call. You're right. 2016, we ate here on Christmas time. We went and had, Korean restaurant on Christmas Day with Scott Coker at this restaurant. It's like, yeah, you're right. That's awesome. They took us out on Christmas Day.
Congrats, Benson.
Thank you, man. Cool. Thank you, guys.